you for listening to The Haunted Moon. Tonight's episode will be about the strange side of Lake Tahoe. So if strange tales stir your fancy, consider subscribing. Up first is George Whittle and the Thunderbird Lodge. The Thunderbird Lodge is a marvelous mansion. It resembles a castle. To give you an idea of the kind of man Whittle was, in the 1890s he ran off with the Barnum and Bailey Circus, even though he was privileged enough to have gone to a university. His love of animals was fostered there and grew over time. In fact, later his beloved pet lion Bill was gifted to him by, get this, his second wife in honor of his marriage to his third wife. Besides this, he was also the proud pet parent of a 600-pound elephant, Mingo. His third wife had 2 pet cheetahs. House cheetahs, you could call them by the way they were treated. Whittle was an intelligent and quirky man. He spoke 7 languages and had the great Thunderbird Lodge built to blend into its natural surroundings. The lodge is still operational today as a historic site and museum. You can take a tour of the property by boat or by land. And if you happen to have a budget of around $35,000, you can even have a wedding there. A wedding in a possibly haunted castle. Sounds magical. And I mean that in all sincerity. I think that would be awesome. So where do all the haunted rumors come from? Well, to start, there's a 600-foot stone tunnel connecting the house to the boathouse. Combine architecture like that with rumors such as that Whittle had a dungeon of sorts in the basement where he would put guests who partied too hard. And you start to see a theme. What a place to wake up hungover, huh? A dungeon in the basement? Not to mention, it is also said that you might wake up to Bill, the lion from earlier, licking your face no matter where you slept, as it is rumored that Whittle discouraged overnight guests. Besides this, it has been whispered that modern-day visitors of the guest house have seen presences and have experienced other odd, unexplainable happenings. Up next is Vikings Home. On Emerald Bay is another mansion that resembles a castle, Vikings Home. Built in 1929, the original owner, Laura Knight, was not Scandinavian, but actually of English heritage. Laura was described as a benevolent woman, and while there isn't a lot of scary stories surrounding this magnificent place, that doesn't mean that there aren't any ghostly ones. It has been said that the smell of cinnamon toast, Laura's favorite breakfast, can be smelled early in the morning on the property. Next on our lineup is Captain Dick of Hermit's Island. Captain Richard Barter, aka Captain Dick, was the caretaker of a resort on Emerald Bay. He was known to locals to be a hermit, and this was how Coquette Island became known as Hermit's Island to locals. Coquette Island is now called Fanet's Island. It is said that the captain went long stretches without seeing another human being. He also had a habit of drinking a little too much. And this could prove dangerous for anyone, but it proved especially perilous for Captain Dick when he decided to boat home through cold waters before sobering up, after drinking to excess in Tahoe City that day. Well, about 8 miles into his trip, his boat flipped, soaking him in freezing water. At 63 years old, he somehow managed to regain control of his boat and get home, but this experience nearly killed him. It is said he got such bad frostbite and eventually gangrene that he couldn't walk on his feet for some time, and that he even had to amputate some of his own toes. This experience apparently had him thinking about his own mortality, as he soon carved himself out a burial chamber out of solid rock somewhere on the island. He completed this task with a homemade coffin and a handcrafted wooden chapel. Sadly, he never got to put his tomb to its designated use, as just 3 years after his first brush with death, he would yet again lose control of his boat after drinking too much. This time, however, he would not regain control. Pieces of his boat were found, but his body never was. It is believed it was washed out and sank too deep to be recovered. Still, some say to this day that on fall nights, Captain Dick can be seen crawling up the rocks, trying in vain to get to his desired resting place from the water. The final item on our list is Tahoe Tessie. Besides the previous extraordinary places, some say Lake Tahoe is also home to an amazing but elusive water creature dubbed Tahoe Tessie. Tessie is said to be similar to the Loch Ness Monster, an enormous serpentine-like creature under the water. Tales of the great monster in the lake first started with the original inhabitants of the area, the Washoe and Paiute Indian tribes. Tessie was believed to live beneath Cave Rock of the East Shore. To this day, there are still regular claimed sightings of Tessie every year, though some say Tessie is just a giant sturgeon. But if you want to learn more for yourself, you could consider visiting the Lake Tahoe Monster Museum on North Lake Boulevard on the California side of Lake Tahoe. Thank you for listening to this strange tale.